some hostile therapy. All right, back again on Thursday for another episode of Hostile Therapy with your host, Big Red. We got returning again for another show, Lord Trent.
Peace,
Lord
God.
Trent.
And
Yeah.
again, showing up for another show is Chris Styles, 90s vintage guy. Also 90s vintage drink, which I could not afford. High taste, champagne taste, Kool-Aid money. That's what they used to tell me about it.
Same nights. R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
So, yo, they still got it.
Mad Dog Twin.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we had a pretty rough week, guys. You know, some of our childhood favorites are taking a shot at us in the streets, Sesame Street. Lord Trent, I don't know if you know much about the Merc out here.
Oh, I'm from Fayetteville.
All right. But it
Cedar Creek, what's up?
Sesame Street seems to be worse than the Merc.
You know what? I doubt it, but let's see.
Oh, we're going to see. We're going to see a little later on. It's not going to be the first story we're going to hit on. That's just a precursor of what we're going to get into a little bit later.
I was ready.
First thing we're going to get into Slim Thug, Houston rapper. Whether y'all are big fans of him or not. He recently did a video talking about boycotting marriage because he thinks marriage is unfair. Well, maybe not marriage, but the divorce part is unfair as far as when you get a divorce and having to pay alimony until the ex-wife finds someone else and gets married. And so he shared a video about it, and he wants to see where we're going to see what you guys think about it. And of course, it's me as well. We're going to do it, leave it or medicate it segment as soon as we watch this video. Let me pull it up right quick. Hear your thoughts.
It ain't right, man. It ain't right what they did to Dr. Dre. It ain't right what they did with Jeff Bezos. It ain't right, man. And we refuse to stand for this. Women be getting away with this too long. And never do I see it the other way on it. Women who married to rich, married dudes and ain't rich as they. Nah, we on that. We on strike, man. No more marriage, fellas. If your wife wants you to get married, say, nah, we on strike. I gotta stand with my people until they change these laws. Marriage should not have no type of way y'all can make that make sense, man. This dude gotta get his woman this money until she remarries. Come on, man. You gotta pay somebody you not with until she remarries. Your boyfriend, his trips paid for off of you. That's embarrassing, kid. You can't do that to people, man. That ain't right. That ain't right. It don't work out, it's over, man. And that's what that is. Like, okay, it is what it is. Put you up, maybe set you up for a year where you get your, But if it's over, man. You ain't living the life with me. I still owe you the life if you're not with me. It's over. We have to stick together on this, fellas. No more marriages. Tell the women who try to get married, if you engage now, cut it off. Say, hey, wife, we can't do this. Slim say we got to strike. We're standing on that, man. We got to stand up for Dr. Dre. All that good music he gave us, man. All that good music he gave us all these years, man. We have to stand up for Dr. Dre, man.
All right, Dr. Dre notwithstanding. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is an issue that he should just leave it alone? We've been doing it for centuries. And just leave it alone? Or do you want to medicate the issue that he's talking about? Paying alimony until the ex-wife gets married. Lord Trent, we're going to start with you and Chris, and then I'm going to go last. Lord Trent, do you want to
leave it
or medicate it?
All right. Let's see. Medicated would be going along, or no, leave it would be what he's saying. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna medicate it
He's more
because
medicated.
I'm
Tell
gonna
us
medicate
why.
it. Well, I noticed the part where he said if you got a wife right now, tell her you can't get married. He's not just gonna skate like he was. He didn't just make a flub like that. But yeah, no, I don't think we can just cut off being married. I feel like for the past amount of centuries or decades, they've been trying to tear apart the black family specifically. And do I personally agree with alimony? No, I don't. But hey, maybe you should find someone that's down for a prenup. You know what I'm saying? Like more communication has to be had in relationships. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for letting it be known that if you marrying me, you ain't getting shit if you leave. You just leaving with a thank you and maybe a congratulatory, piece of chocolate or something. But yeah, just you have to have open communication with who you're with. You have to know who you're dating, what you're dating them for, what they're dating you for, what you're both dating each other for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna medicate that. We're gonna keep getting married because that's what I'm saying, that's how America does it.
Ting
All right.
ting.
All
Ting a
right.
ling ling.
All right. Chris, come to you next. Do you think leave it or medicate it?
Nah. I would love to leave it and medicate it too, because there's a balance with this, right?
Only can do one. Doctors
Uh,
will give you one
right,
choice.
look, I'm a medicated there.
He's
I'm a
going
medicated.
medicated. Tell us
Yeah,
why.
medicated.
Leave it.
The reason why I'm going to medicate it, and again, I feel like if your situation in your marriage, I really feel like we put ourselves in situations sometimes, or our behaviors put us in situations that we cannot, that it leads to divorce. And sometimes you know who you marry, and you think that you might be able to change individuals, which sometimes you could change together, grow together, and sometimes you're just not in the right place, to the right space to do that. But I feel like if your relationship was strong enough or good enough, it wasn't just based on money or material and things of that nature, that you could settle out of court. And again, like I say, there's prenuptials. There's always prenuptials. There's always a premarital and a marital agreement that you can set up prior to, getting married, something that's agreeable. And sometimes you got to treat it like a business.
Okay. All right. So we got two medicated. So I'm going to go with 2 out of 2, and I'm going to medicate it as well. And here's why. Well, he did mention that one part in there where he said at least a year. He's cool with that part, because if you're cool with that, then we're paying alimony until she get married. And you think there should be no limit on child support? How long you pay for that? Do you pay for as long until the child goes over 18, and then you don't pay anymore? But I had another example too. I was going to think about where you had to pay for something for so long, but there should be a limit to how long you should pay something. If she gets on her feet, oh, okay. Unemployment. That's what the thing I was going to say. Unemployment, you're supposed to pay until you get a job, but there's still a limit to how long they're going to give you unemployment and wait for you to get a job. So I think there should be a limit besides just getting married. There should be a limit until she gets back on her feet. I would say a year or so, and then you got to work on the stuff doing on your own, because you're no longer under the protection or under the guidance or paycheck or bank account of your husband, and vice versa. If we're talking about switching roles here, if it was a female having to pay that, then she shouldn't have to pay for her husband to sit on his behind for 5 years or 10 years. He's just living the life with another girl and not getting married.
That's called Kevin Federlining.
That's a good example. That's a good example. I was thinking more the Mary J. Blige husband guy, Ken Dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's a better one. That's a better one.
Yeah.
He actually tried to take money from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was the one that cheated. So that's kind of crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, he's the one that cheated. That was kind of that's hypocritical.
Yeah.
Usually
it gets real gray.
Yes. But again, there is backlash, right, from society if a man gets support, but it's okay for a woman to get support. And I think it still should be under a fair bearing. And the law, I believe the laws have to change, because you have, when you talk about the amount of time, as Red stated, as Lord Trent stated, the amount of time that you need, that you should have to pay for that, is what it is. That should be a lot less, or you come up with a settlement amount and give it and move on. But everybody ain't got that type of paper. Or you're gonna be saving all your life. You got to pull out your 401k to pay this money and be done with it. But and you got to build back later. But I still think it should be more fair grounds or fair means now. The child support is something different, because the law is already stated in regards to that, right? Because you got 18 to 21 or 18 to 23, 24 years old, based on if the child is still in school, depending on what state that you're in, right? Because you may still have to pay that while they're still in school. And some states, to say it was like, once they graduate high school, then you're done. And usually that's 18, but for some it take a lot longer.
Yeah. I was going to say,
honestly,
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. What I was going to say was, like, in terms of time limit, I would think, like, I think a marriage should be examined. Like when we're going through a divorce, I think the marriage should be, like, examined very thoroughly, because you're right. Sometimes that's why men don't really see the importance in marriage or the benefit in marriage, because if it were to end, they're the only ones being negatively affected. Well, not the only ones, but they're being negatively affected at a disproportionate rate to women. So yeah, I do think there should be time, like, after the marriage for, divorce lawyers, whoever's in charge of that, I don't know, to actually look into the marriage, get the story from both sides. Because yeah, like you could just ruin someone's life. Let's not act like there's not people who get married specifically to rich individuals just so that they could eventually end up taking half of their money. Like, all of these people aren't getting married for love. So we do have to take a further and deeper look into the marriage itself before we just say, okay, well, they're divorced, give the woman half. Or they're divorced, give that poor man that was leeching off of this rich woman half.
Let's look at the societal difference between one thing is for men and women. A woman can be, she can be under a guy and not have to pay any bills. She just take care of the house. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not sitting here and saying that there are gold diggers, because I hate that, because that's not being a gold digger. Gold digger is usually somebody who wants excessive amounts of what you may not have and doesn't bring anything to the table besides wanting something from you. That's not somebody that's just at the house that you're taking care of and she's also taking care of the house, the kids, whatever. That's not a gold digger.
No,
but in no circumstance, really, long term, let's say a 20-year marriage, can a guy just be at the house and not have a negative term put on them, which is usually a bum. You never call a woman a bum for just being at the house. So a woman could be with you for 20 years or whatever, and just be under the guy, and that's not considered a bum. That's a big difference between how.
Because honestly, you know what? When you say the word bum, and not even trying to be funny here, it sounds masculine. Like you just don't naturally associate bum with women. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if a man were not, because men, we, from the dawn of time, we've been the hunters, you know what I'm saying, the providers. So if we're not in that position, it's hard to look at us as men from the outside. From, I guess, from a woman's point of view, it's hard to look at us as men if we're not in that dominant provider position. But honestly, if that's the case, like, the biggest bum, quote unquote, in the world is Stedman Graham. And I don't know too many people that wouldn't want to trade places with Stedman Graham. I'm just like, he sit around, what does he do? And his last name ain't even Winfrey.
But they're not even married. So see, that I don't know if that even goes with them. I mean, he's a motivational speaker and he has some businesses, so he's not like sitting on his ass or anything.
Right.
He ain't making Oprah money.
But he had his own money.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is interesting because now the conversation sounds like, when we see a woman with an athlete or a rich male celebrity, and we say, oh well, she's only with him because of this and because of that, and then the women will pop up and say, well no, actually she does makeup, she does other types of cosmetics, she does other thing with beauty products and shit, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's like I said, it gets real gray. There's always a way you can play it. We can't really judge what is a bum. Because to us, yeah, you're not an NBA champion winning 10 championships, but you got a successful business that you can manage, that it's not really high key like your partner, but you do well. But they're obviously the breadwinner, the higher breadwinner.
Yeah. Right. But we know there's only a time frame for guys to, a woman will try to help build a guy up, but for so long. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I'm tired of just being the only breadwinner or being the dominant breadwinner. That's a thing.
They can't get away from
like, okay, you got to do something. You can't just be at the house and take care of the kids. That's what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not doing right now. But I need you to do something else. If it's in reverse, it's like, oh, okay, you can be home. You can do, or you can have a job if you want to, too. I'll be the main breadwinner. And there's no problem with that. But then when the divorce happens and she wants alimony, let's say, for a year, it's almost seemed like, okay, it makes sense. She should get something because she's used to living a certain lifestyle. So you're going to get this certain amount of money for a year or so. But if a guy were to do that, he's a bum. Like, go get your own job. Why are you leeching off of her? She took care of you all those years. It may have been 5. She took care of you all these years. But hey, he was used to a certain lifestyle too. Just like the Hindu Isaac's guy that was married to Mary J. Blige. That's the argument they usually put into the courts. Is like, he's used to living a certain amount of lifestyle. We need you to pay for him to continue to live that way. And women,
you see, it kind of sounds laughable. And this is just me being raised in a male-dominated society. Being male, like it kind of sounds laughable that anyone would even, that as a man, that's something that not even you would require, but that's something that would be available to you simply because of your relationship with someone else, your relationship to your partner, pretty much. Like that's laughable, because that's like, not even being sexist or misogynist. That's something that I would expect for a woman. Like, you would obviously expect more benefits and more care to be taken care for women, even though there does need to be more care for men. Yes. Like, I mean, men's health month, men's health wellness month was just last month. So yeah, there does need to be more care for men, but yeah, it's kind of the societal, ingrown prejudice.
I didn't even know that was around. That's a shame. That's how much it matters.
And I just always said, because again, I've been married twice previously, and in both situations, I always came up with create our own rules and our own guidelines on how we want to do this. But I've always came to the place where even when those rules were set up, it's like I had somebody in my life who wanted to buck the system, or didn't want to do this anymore, or didn't want to, quote unquote, do what she agreed she said she was going to do to make everything work for this particular, for a household structure, whatever that is. And I'm still going to say, create your own rules and guidelines, but you have to have somebody, if things change or they don't feel a certain way anymore, whatever that is, then let's make adjustments. You can't just talk about it. You can't just one day get up, or you've been thinking about something and then start doing the opposite without telling your partner, like, hey, this is what this is. And then when the situations blow up, now you got a problem. Now you're doing this. Now you're doing that. Now you creating chaos in the household. So, and it's just annoying as hell. Like, why did we put this thing together? Why we get married? And so I kind of understand what Slim was saying, but it's not based on support Dre or support none of these other motherfuckers, because they ain't providing us with nothing, straight up. They not.
Yeah, we ain't even. I'm sorry to interrupt. We ain't even got detox yet.
You know what I mean?
What's up, Dre?
We ain't getting that. We ain't never gonna get that.
Go off, Chris. My bad. Go on.
No, you good. Like I respect them. I'm glad what they done for the society, the culture, the music, all that. But at the end of the day, we got to look at whether the father or mother who's going to be holding down the children, they're going to have to be there most of the time dealing with, what's up, Lex? Dealing with the emotional aspects of those children, dealing with them full time. That's a full-time job, bro. Mm-hmm. Sisters, it's a full-time job. You got to look at the aspect of, it's just a lot. If you have a child or children, or you look on the outside, look at somebody else's relationship with children, it's a whole other aspect, and it's kind of crazy. But I also just say, try to create your own what works best for your family system, not based on what the society knows. I'm saying, because you are always going to head and run into trouble. And if you're an egotistical or prideful person, that's just going to be, it's just like a heavyweight fight. You're going to get hit in the head, the stomach, the back, the arms. You're going to get hit everywhere. Liver, kidney, you know what I'm saying? So, I just really feel like at this time, we have to stop marrying based on looks, stop marrying based on potential, stop marrying based on a lot of things, because if whatever you do ain't based on love from the gate, no matter what we have, material, non-material, if we, you're not going to be on the same page all the time. That's 100% for certain. But if it ain't real love, then it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Straight up. So that's why we come into these circumstances and situations, or we want to lean outside of what we said we was not, or we said we was going to do. And sometimes, as men and women, whether when you make the bread or you pay them more than somebody else, some people tend to look down on other individuals for that, right. And they get a disdain for that individual person, and that becomes an issue. You start treating the other person bad. They're like, okay, look, I want out now because I didn't get married to be a footstool. You know what I mean? Or a verbal punching bag or a physical bag. So
that's when you do it without love. That's what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm. So what
because, they know is because doing something for somebody should never be a chore. It should never be something that you just begrudge doing. If you truly
keep tabs on it.
Yeah, like, what I'm saying? Yeah, it should never be some shit you bring up in the morning. I've done this, I done that. Like, no, it should never be anything you're keeping track of. You're doing this out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing this because you truly love them and you want to take care of them. Like, love entails a large part of taking care of someone. Like, and you should just want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Especially all that comes out during the divorce, though. Like, I did this for you, I did this for you, I paid for this and this and this, and you are still leaving. Yes, and you're going to continue doing this and this and this until she gets remarried.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you run on game for real, if I'm dating a person, I'm going to talk her into, we're going to be long-term partners, but we ain't getting married because we're going to continue to get this paper. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real.
Yeah. Double up and double up.
Yeah.
That's where Featherline could never take it.
Well, Kevin, he was doing double hustling, basically, or somewhat double hustling. He was getting from his first baby mother, from Moesha. He was getting, I think, had to pay her alimony. And then I think he was getting paid from Brittany and probably was using that to pay her.
Hold on. I didn't know that. Moesha had a child by him?
No, not Moesha. The white girl from Moesha, or I don't know who we got.
Nisi.
Yeah, the one with I think she has micro braids seem like every year, but
you talking about Nash?
No, not Nisi Nash.
No.
Oh, I gotta look this up then, because it's blowing my mind.
It's Moesha's friend.
Yeah, not Countess.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't picture her face.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Not Countess Vaughn, the skinny one, friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
In real life, they dated. They had a kid, but he's paying for her. Mm-hmm. And then he dated Brittany some years later, and she's paying him,
which is poetic in a way.
And right. So, in Brittany,
your white baby mama to pay your black baby mama,
right? And Brittany clearly made more than Nisi or whatever. Yeah. So he's getting that, paying her amount, and living off the rest of it.
Doing a little dancing on the side.
Yo, that's a smart move. That's a smart move.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's smart, but I'm just saying that.
Don't do it. We do not endorse, Kevin. I mean,
Might be devious, but it's smart.
It's devious.
But and then sometimes some things happen, and it wasn't intended. But now that you have the income, now you could pay that off for that and still plus.
Mm-hmm.
So, shit. Excuse my language. The society, the legal system is set up for the women to do this all the time. So I said most of it is set up like that.
Most of the
But
time.
If they have the kids.
I'm going to say
if they have the kids, definitely.
Yeah, if they have the kids, yeah.
I'm going to say 90 plus.
No,
90 plus.
Yeah, we're not even talking about child support. We're talking about alimony on this part.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time,
I haven't been married yet, so I wouldn't know.
Look at Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, we mentioned her. I mentioned her. And that's a rarity.
And we have to be careful of which state that we get married in.
Right.
Yeah.
And people don't.
Some states
again.
Some weird laws.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what state you get married in, you are bound to the laws of that state.
Yep.
So if you don't do that research, ooh-wee.
Gotcha.
You got to marry me in Washington.
You can marry inanimate objects in some states. You know what I'm saying?
You got to marry me back home, baby.
You married my house, and now you owe me half of the house.
Mm-hmm. Ooh-wee.
All right, let's go into this next one. This is for the people out there dating. Let's see. I think you sent this one in, Chris.
Yeah.
I think you sent it. It was about the girl that was trying to go on a date at bourbon tasting party. Bourbon tasting party. And she wanted. Well, the guy asked her to go, and she basically wanted him to send an Uber, or I think at the least pick him up. But he was like, "You got your own car. Why don't you, just drive your own self out there?" And she was basically saying that this looked like it was a harbinger, a bad sign that he was not going to be a good mate in the future, for not being able to look out for her just to get her a ride, because they're going to drink. It's like going to a club or a bar or something. Like, you're going to drink. You don't want her to drive home by her, drunk or whatever, and then get in an accident, and then there's no second date, of course.
The least of concerns.
Well, no, that's the most important takeaway.
Unless it's at the funeral, then
she could have been the one.
Could have been. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna play the video for y'all and see what y'all. Oh, drop something. We'll see what y'all got to say about the video after we play it there. Oh, you dropped her, man. Come on. That's going to be in the divorce proceedings right there.
I'm keeping this. No. This stays over my fireplace.
I've learned very quickly while I'm out here dating is I have to stay in my lane. I have to date in my lane. Steve Harvey has a quote, and I'm paraphrasing here. He says, "Once my confidence bumped up against your insecurities, now I'm arrogant." Let me flip that a little bit and make it applicable when it comes to dating. Once what I'm accustomed to becomes too much for you to deliver, now I'm a gold digger. Now I'm asking for too much. Now I'm ungrateful. So I've learned that the first sign that something tells me that what I'm used to is going to be a problem, I kind of just back up. Y'all want a story time? I was just talking to this gentleman, and he called me up and he was like, there's a bourbon taste and I would love for you to join me. A couple of people are going. I'd love for you to join me. And I was like, oh, great. I'm not really a bourbon girl. I'd love to. I was like, I'm a tequila girl, so I don't really know how I'm going to react to it. And he was like, well, if you're not careful, it'll go straight to your head. But, I got you. I'll take care of you. We laugh and banter. So he's giving me the details on the tasting, and it's quite a ways from my house. Now, he lives on an opposite end. Like, we live on two opposite ends of the place where we're going to. So I really didn't expect him to pick me up. But I did expect him to send a car. One, because you invited me out, and it's a long way from my house, and we're going to be drinking. But if I'm being honest, I'm used to men offering that anyway. Can you join me for dinner? Should I send you a car? That's what I'm accustomed to. So I asked him, I said, so what time is the tasting? Were you going to send me a car? And he was like, send you a car? What's wrong with your car? I was like, okay, let me calm down because I don't want to be so hasty to just cut. I said, well, you're inviting me out. So, and it's a little ways from my house and I'll be drinking. You said you expect me to drive drunk? And he was like, you think you're going to get that drunk? You can't hold your lip. He started finding reasons to say no. No. So I found my reason to say no. So he's still talking through it and brainstorming. Maybe you can come and park here. And I'm not driving no car with no alcohol in my system, especially drinking something that I'm not accustomed to drinking. And for you to be trying to jump through all these hoops instead of saying, yes, sweetheart, let me send you a car to make sure you get home safely to your children or whatever, instead of you doing that, you still playing acrobatics. I said, you know what, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I think I'm gonna have to decline. I don't think this is such a good idea. And he was like, because I won't send you a car? Well, fine, I'll send you a car. I said, no, never mind, because it's not, at this point, it's not about the car. It's about, I'm going to have this tug of war with you should we pursue anything further. The fact that you don't know to do that is a problem for me. And that's going to be a problem for you. So he was like, well, I could have sent you a car. Well, maybe we'll do something else. We will absolutely not do anything else. But what I do hope is when you go back in. But I do hope that when he's out on the dating scene and he meets another young lady that he's interested in and he offers that kind of date, that he also offers her a car. Like, I understand everything ain't common practice, common knowledge, but if I'm explaining to you why it's important, why you should, the tasting is at 6 p.m. So it's going to be dark by the time we finish. I'm drinking some liquor that I'm not familiar with and I'm driving 30 miles home. Come on now. But anyway, I stay in my lane.
Okay. So the leave it or medicate it is, should we leave it alone as it was for what the guy wanted the date to go, that she drives herself there, they have a good time, she gets drunk and doesn't remember what the hell happened that night and doesn't even know how she gonna get home? Or should we medicate it and do what she wanted to happen and have a Uber or some other driving company, a taxi or something, or horse and carriage sent to her house to drive her to the bourbon tasting and back home? So, Alexa, since you're here now, I'm going to go with you first. Do you want to leave it?
I should be last by default. I would.
She played the reverse card on you.
Yeah.
I would leave it.
She's going to leave it. Tell us why.
The reason I would leave it is because, no, I don't agree with him, what he did. But for the sake of women, let these guys be themselves. I'm tired of these, representatives that come. Because if he really, really had it in his heart to not send her a car, that's sugarcoating. And that will wear off. I'd rather see exactly how you're going to be so I can just, leave you where you at. Now, if you show me that, you're going to be an asshole about it, that's how much of an asshole I'm going to be. So either I'll explain to you why this doesn't work, or else I'll be like, yeah, you know what, you're right. I'll meet you there. And you can just check your phone all night and you'll go to voicemail when you hit me up. That's how I handle that.
Okay.
She said she don't need no more time.
Oh, man. I'm actually surprised. All right. I'm surprised she went with leave it. I thought she was going to medicate it. All right. Chris.
Is that our time together is done? Yeah.
All right, Chris. You going to leave it or medicate it?
Wow. You know what? I'm going to medicate it.
Okay. Tell us why.
Now, I'm a fair person. And I try to make things as easy, as simple as possible if I can. But I really feel like I get what she's saying. I get what he's saying. But how I was raised, I would have probably went to go pick her up. But if we did come to a compromise where she did drive, I would have drove her home. Or we would have took an Uber together or whatever like that, and it got me home, or, however that's going to be. Or, she could have stayed at my place and I'd have took her back to get her car tomorrow. I mean, there's different options that could have been taken to quell this situation, but and I understand too. I don't know if she has children or not, but your family, whatever that is. But I understand that you want to be alive at the end of the day, and so I respect that, but I still think better negotiations could have took place.
All right. Lord Trent LT, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave it or medicate it?
He put on the shades.
Yeah, it got faded.
You keep putting that mic up in your hand. I keep waiting for a hot 16 to come out your mouth, man.
Yeah. LT.
One of these days. Hey, look, one of these days, I'm gonna give you a meat. Oh, the bars is coming. Just wait.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But I think that I would everyone had some interesting takes. So she kind of flipped the way she said leave it. And I think I would leave it too.
Tell us why.
Because you know what? I want to start by saying I don't disagree with what old girl had to say in the video at all. She was 100% right. She explained everything that she required. She didn't make it unknown whatsoever. Like, I don't disagree with her reasoning whatsoever. And he showed her that he wasn't going to do it by constantly making excuses or constantly trying to find workarounds for what she was requiring of him to do. And she handled it in a very, I feel like she was very mature. I feel like she was very well spoken. She was articulate, and she avoided, like, that was a red flag for her, and she successfully avoided it. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like she should leave it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else to it. I feel like there's more to it, but there's nothing else to it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So that's a couple of leave it's and one medicated. So let's see, what percentage are we going to have now?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to go 50-50 because I'm going to agree with Chris and I'm going to medicate it. And here's why. Yes, she laid out all the things she wants for a date to go right. I don't, if the guy wants to stick to his guns, then so be it. But what is the end game here? The end game here is to have the date, get to know the person, and maybe one day go on another date and then procreate, maybe after marriage or before marriage, depending on what your game is. But that's if you, it's a dangerous situation. I mean, there's designated drivers that we need to have at all bars and all situations where alcohol is involved. And it just makes you look like you're trying to protect the person, which I think it would be a good first impression to make on the young lady there. And if you're not going to show some sort of form of protection by not having a car pick her up or going to pick her up herself, then I don't even think you're ready for dating yet. I think you got issues already if you can't even send a car. And maybe you can't afford a car. So
I agree with that too. I agree with, because especially what Chris said about the way you were raised. You know what I'm saying? Yes, if that is what a woman is requiring, you should be able to provide that. Like, you asked her out, correct? Like, so you should be able to provide her with the things that she is requiring of you if you were worthy of her time. You know, it's a 50-50 street in that aspect. So I definitely agree with that. So it was hard to leave it or medicate it. Like, do both.
Wow.
And do both.
It's amazing you said that, bro, because even for me, it doesn't matter if somebody asks me out or we out on a date, but if I feel like if there's certain measures or things that, like, if we said we agree no cell phones, or we going no texting on the phone unless it's an emergency, and every chance she on her cell phone typing the text him, it's like, yo, that's not what we agreed on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably more inclined to be like, even though I'll be like, that would be our last date, right? I would still make sure she gets home safe, because one of the things that I've seen, one of the things that I've learned, you don't want to be the last person to be a suspect in an investigation if something harmful happened to her. You see what I'm saying? And like, oh, you got mad at her and you killed her, you hurt her, and this and that and the third. Like, technology has tied all aspects together that you can't hide. Even if you delete, they're going to subpoena them records of what the text was or whatever. So whether you talk to her on the phone, how long you talk to her. So fellas, I really believe, ladies, on both your ends, if you want to see somebody or you trying to get to know them, just reach a compromise, but let each other know that I'm not, no matter what happens, I'm not going to leave you in a place where you stranded or you just in a third. We going to agree to disagree, but make sure that we safe. Yeah, make sure we safe. And that's the bottom line.
Protect each other.
Yeah.
I just think that like attracts like, and it's good to let people be on their level. Like the dating field is one field where I say I believe in separate but equal. Okay, separate but equal. I'm not saying you know less if you go meet a guy, or if you go, hell, you catch the bus to his house, whatever you are okay with. But meet people on that level who are okay with that and nobody feels out of place. Because like she said, I felt her when she said, when she sees something she's used to and it bumps up against, that's it. You don't got to hit against a brick wall. You're not supposed to teach nobody. You're not supposed to train them. Like attracts like. That's your indicator that that person is not on that bracket. And it's not that they're less.
Yeah, we spend too much time trying to mold and change people that we can obviously see aren't.
There's somebody out there for him that's going to drive to the bourbon place. He just needs to find them. That's it. It's not hard. There's some girls that probably drink a gallon before they even take off. So,
yeah.
But too, we say that like, oh, it's going to save money. I've been to casinos, I've been to bars, I've been a lot of places, and it's just like if you pre-prep or pre-game before you go to the bar, right?
Could be sloppy drunk. By
the time you get there, you're doing it, and now
I'm leaving early.
I have this mindset that I don't really want the fun to stop. So you might even spend more than you did prior to you just drinking when you were there. I've seen it happen. So it could be, it's a 50-50 flip of the coin, depending on your night. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not having a good time, yeah, all right, I had enough. I'm out of there. Or you had your fill, I'm out of there. But sometimes you having such a good time is passing and you just still on that fun ride, on that fun wave. And you might spend more than you did even before you pre-prep. So that's something I just wanted to share with y'all to keep in mind. It's happened to me.
Quick for you, Chris, question. For instance, since you're talking about spending money or whatnot, what if you're, for instance, you like to gamble, you like to go to a casino, right? You that's your thing, and you're trying to meet someone halfway, and you want to be like, oh, meet me at the casino, but this is not a gambler. Would you expect them to sit there and twiddle their thumbs, or do you have a certain amount that you're going to say, here, play this? Because if they're not a gambler and you want the date at the casino, that should be a part of it, unless you go with somebody who likes to gamble too. So they are obviously they're going to come with their own, whatever. See, I'm from Washington, where there's a lot of casinos.
I get what you're saying. If you're putting somebody on to something, like if you're inviting somebody to something that you are a particular connoisseur in, you should be willing to accommodate the expenses for them.
Yeah. See, I'm from Washington, and when a guy tells you he wants to go on a casino date, that means whatever they got a number in mind they want you to play.
It's just fun, and it is a good impression.
Because you're not going to be just unless you already go. Now, if you a casino buddy, you're like, oh yeah, you going this night? You going tonight? That's different. But if you meet a girl like, I don't really like to go to clubs. I don't really like to dance. I don't really like to shoot pool. I don't really like to shoot darts. I just want to go to the casino, and I'm just like, I don't gamble like that. Well, just come on. We can eat afterwards. Yeah.
That was a draft game.
You better be peeling me off something when we get out the car, because I'm not going to be sitting here like this.
Nah, but sometimes what I feel is like, it's just like me, like I'm not really a musical type of person. Like I've learned to grow into doing like live concerts, live bands, and going to see plays and stuff like that. I was never that type of person, right? But once I experienced it, it was like, okay, this is not as bad, as whatever. I put that time and effort to learn or put myself in a position to grow. If I didn't like it, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if somebody, for me, if I invited somebody to come to the casino with me, what would end up happening is, yeah, I would probably give you a couple of dollars to go play, but at the same time, I want you to see, like, okay, I'm playing poker, or I'm playing blackjack or something like that. This is how the game is played. This is what this feels like. This is the atmosphere. So I'm trying to teach you the game, you know, so you'll be able to see as well. You might see some things that you could put me on to while I'm at the table. So if you come in there with me and vice versa, I think it's a learning and teachable moment for each other. You see what I'm saying?
Good.
But I still feel like if you're not gambling, why are you accepting money from me? That doesn't make
You're
sense.
not a big
Like
gambler, but you want someone to go with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is an example of somebody who wants you to do something that was not your idea. Like he said, he
Right.
wants to go to a bourbon thing. She said she don't drink bourbon. So there's no ding for her. Like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. You know, it's literally 100% his idea, his offer, his, you know, but that's vice versa.
Like,
if I invite somebody
everything
somewhere
is so
that
gray.
if I invite somebody somewhere that I really want to do and I know they don't do it, I'm not going to be like expecting them to do everything. You know, like, this is my idea.
That's gonna happen a lot though in a relationship.
You know.
You're always gonna do something that you don't want to do, but you're doing it for the other person to make them happy.
There's a lot of give and
on
take,
first
you know.
dates, first and second dates. I'm not talking about like
Okay,
you're
I
in
got
a middle relationship and now
Okay.
we got a ping pong. I go to your thing, you go to my thing. Not like that. I'm saying when you getting to know somebody at first, it's
But
like,
sometimes it does keep it keep it fresh, keep it spicy.
Well,
And you know that I'm gonna get or learn something different from you or experience something that I never experienced before. So I kind of keep that on the forefront, like whether that's camping or something you ain't never been camping before or something like that. You know, that's gonna be a whole new adventure. Whether you like, you know, whether you like it or not, that's a whole different adventure. People talking about hiking and jogging and running. Yo, I do it. I walk and I do certain things, but I ain't running no trails and going on mountains and stuff. But if that's what was offered, I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And
but if you get there and they looking at you like, where's your half? You don't even know how much this stuff costs. You ain't never been to that. You ain't never been on an outdoor excursion. You don't know
That's
that
the aspect I take from it
$360
too,
a
you know what
pop
I'm saying?
for certain, you know, things and all that. So that's what I'm
I'm,
saying.
I'm,
The person who
I'm
knows
super
about it.
considerate as a person. Like if
Yeah.
I invite somebody to something, I like, and plus, slightly admit, I like to be in control of things. Like I like to set up things. I like to host and do types. So I expect to be the one, you know, funding all of the expenses. You know what I'm saying? If I'm inviting you to something, I'm paying for your ticket. I'm, you know, paying for this because
Right.
I want for you to experience it the way I want you to experience it. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting you on. So don't worry about it. Like that's just a super considerate thing that, you know, I personally practice. So I feel like it comes down to an individual level. And again, like they were like the man and the woman, they were conversating. I'm sorry, my girlfriend hates when I say conversating. That's not a word. Did y'all know that conversating is not a word? Converse. We converse. The man and woman were conversing back and forth, and they clearly had a disagreement. He did not feel like it was a necessity. Like he didn't see the danger, or he didn't see the necessity in.
That's what I have an issue with.
He's not even on the level.
This is a first impression. And it's not even about if she wants to do the date. It's, to me anyway, it just seemed like she expressed it was about a safety concern. Do you really want me to drive?
And it's reasonable. It's
a half hour away. We ain't even talking about 5 minutes. We're talking about a half hour away.
30 miles?
Drunk.
Drunk? 30?
Or tipsy. You know,
either he's used to people who drive drunk a lot, or else he just don't care for her safety. That's why I said she handled it better than me. Because I'm telling you right now, I would have been after I explained it 3 times, I would have been like, "What time you want me there?" Okay, yeah.
Oh, you a student? You a ghost?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I would, you know.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good segue, Alexa.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I
because
would, and I've done it before. I have done it before, and I'm very proud of it.
And sometimes it's not that. I mean, he disregarded her safety, disregarded his safety, but they do this so often, it didn't even register with him because he's been getting away with it. If y'all remember, not that long ago, earlier this year, about the chick was claiming that she was the best drunk driver, and
we did that story.
And she was going out in the bars and just doing and posting stuff on there that could have put her away for a long time. And the universe gave her mad breaks to get her to understand, stop doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you need help, go get help. And she eventually, the people who let her go, she ended up killing them and somebody else.
Yeah.
That's
And
so sad.
yo, that broke me down because there's so many signs that are given to us on every day or daily basis as we move in. And again, this is just one of them. So I agree with her wholeheartedly when she says, you know, stay in her lane, and keep herself safe, keep her you should call that her peace of mind or whatever that is, where it is, because I've done that myself. I get with people and you get in places and doing, you're like, yo, this joint crazy for real.
And when the universe give you a chance, you better take it.
You better take it because you might not come back.
I know damn well I done took many chances in. Ooh-wee. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about you got girls that still to this day, you too old to be getting flued out with no to be getting flued out with no backup plan. Now I ain't gonna lie, I made a couple mistakes in the past, but I'm talking about as a passenger, not as a as a tag along.
Right.
I done made mistakes as a tag along going on the trip with somebody else who got flued out. Ooh. And ended up in bad situation. By grace of God, nothing bad happened. But I'm just saying, young and dumb, it could have went a really, really bad way. And I'm like, okay, so. And the US, it wasn't even the guy's fault. It was the girl's. It was her fault.
Mm-hmm.
It was stuff she was doing, dumb stuff, putting us both in danger. So I was like, okay, let me make an alliance with the person we actually staying with, because she gonna get us in some deep BS. She was trying to have a high growth summer 20 years before the term even came out. But anyway, I took that chance from the universe. I took it and I said, never again. But yeah, man, oh man.
Never again.
All right, y'all. We're going to go into the part that the universe met Alexa with a few minutes ago. I don't think she understood. She helped us segue into this next one. Okay.
Oh, Lord. Not you, Trent. Sorry.
I was about to, yes.
Yes, daughter. No.
This woman in Michigan from 2020, she sued a guy for not showing up on the date. Oh, yes, she took. Yeah, I guess in certain you can.
I gotta be careful.
No, you can do that.
Yeah. People can sue for cheating in a marriage, and now they can sue for dates. The woman named Quashante Short had reportedly filed a lawsuit back in 2020.
I love her name.
Quashante Short, in which she alleged that Richard Jordan did not show and left her on her mother's birthday, and her mom had just passed away. Per documents. Short sued the accused ditcher for intentional infliction of emotional distress on the grounds that Jordan had deliberately hurt her by standing her up. And so now you got to be careful how you ghost people on dates. So Alexa, look out. Just saying, you might can get sued now.
I got to watch my P's and Q's.
Yeah, get your bail money up. Because you might go to prison for that. So
I can't be playing with these dudes'
feelings. My brother is a lawyer. Right. My brother is a lawyer if you need legal representation.
And now Lord Trent, you went into something because she represented herself as her own lawyer at her case.
Always the best thing to do.
Did she win?
Not quite. And I'm going to play the video of what happened when she took it to court.
Off the chain.
Here, what is it? Intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes.
Is that the claim here?
Yes, okay. It is.
that's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said that's not something that's justiciable in district court. That has to be brought in circuit court.
So you said it's not permissible in district court. It has to be taken to circuit court.
That's an equitable action, yes. Mm-hmm. Mr. Jordan, let me just ask you this. Are you planning to represent yourself on this?
I to be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that. And now I'm being sued for $10,000. I don't see how this is going to go any further. I think it's a waste of your time.
The problem is this. You know, if you think it should be dismissed, you know, you need to file the appropriate motion. You need to file a motion to ask for that.
In that letter, he lied. And then that's what brought forth the perjury. It was never perjury in the beginning. It was perjury after his response.
Well, you can't say, listen, he has the right to put whatever is in the answer.
I'm not saying he can't, but
you can't add another count because you don't like or you disagree with what is in his answer.
If he responds and his response is a lie, it's perjury, then my documents will prove that he lied in his response.
No. It's his version. First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly, and I got documents that prove he was lying.
You don't understand. It's a false statement made under oath. Under oath.
That stated a
when
lie.
did he testify to something that he lied about? It's a false statement made under oath.
Bottom line is, you said it's a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done here?
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
Perjury is
what perjury means. I know exactly what perjury means. I know what perjury means. Are we done
here?
You don't. Is it a criminal offense or not?
What statement? I don't see anything in the complaint that says he made some false statement under oath.
Because you don't know what happened. You're on the outside looking in. You don't know anything.
But you're the plaintiff. Wait a minute. You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to lay out your allegations properly.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Exactly what perjury means.
No, we're not.
Do not insult my intelligence.
You have to
do not insult my intelligence.
You have to lay your complaint out. You have to allege this in the complaint. You have not.
Please do not insult my intelligence.
It's not about that. You don't think. I don't think you understand what perjury is. It's a false statement made under oath.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
Please
do not insult my intelligence.
I said no.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not insult my intelligence as if I do not understand what the word perjury means. Do not. If it's a criminal offense, then it's a criminal offense.
Well, ma'am, it should not have been filed in district court if you want intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Okay, so that's a criminal offense.
Are you going to dismiss it and refile it?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to dismiss it. I will file another case in circuit. But as far as I'm concerned,
you can't have two cases on the ma'am. You can't have two cases going on the same issue.
Well, I'm not dismissing the case. If you want to dismiss it, that's up to you. But I, as a plaintiff, am not dismissing the case.
He has to make a proper motion.
Well, that's on him.
But I can also transfer the venue to circuit.
Yes, that's what I thought, because there were other cases that should have been transferred somewhere else. So that's okay.
Okay. I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. Give me the phone. Yep. Get to it. Ma'am, what about his costs associated with appearing because you filed it in the wrong court?
I need to see because I was not aware, since you said perjury was not on there, I was not aware that a criminal offense for intentional infliction of emotional distress was considered a criminal offense there, that it had to be.
I didn't say that. Forward. That is not what I said.
Yes,
that is not what I said.
I
said that. No, I didn't. You
yes,
said
you
that.
Did. You stated
I
that.
said that circuit.
You stated that the criminal. You stated that emotional infliction of emotional distress is a criminal offense, and you stated that perjury is a criminal offense. But you also stated that perjury is not on the document that I placed forth before you. So criminal offense would not.
It's not in the complaint.
On there.
It's not in the complaint.
I need you to show me. I need you to show me the document which states that intentional infliction of emotional distress is indeed and in fact a criminal offense, because that's the original offense that was placed on there.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. Ma'am,
yes, you did.
Listen. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. I will repeat to you what I said.
I'm not either.
I said
that's two
that
charges.
intentional. You need to be quiet while I'm talking. You need to be quiet. Can you mute her, please?
Because perjury is a criminal offense. It has to go to circuit court.
That will not make her hear you.
Intentional infliction of emotional distress.
What I said was intentional infliction of emotional distress is something that circuit court has jurisdiction over. I never characterized that as a criminal matter. It is definitely a civil claim, but it is something that can't be done in district court. Now, that's what I said to you. You are of the mistaken belief that circuit court does not hear civil matters, because you said, well, I thought circuit court only did criminal. You are the one who are mistaken about the jurisdiction of circuit court, because that's what you stated on the record. Unmuted.
I don't know if he
She's
should.
been talking the entire time.
Well, I said I was muted.
Judge, excuse me, you don't understand how this works. Let me explain something to you about Zoom right quick.
Okay.
When I muted her and now I'm asking her to unmute, if she doesn't do something on her end, she's still muted. So right now she's still muted.
Okay, I think that's enough for that video. I need from each and every one of you to send me at least 4 cigarettes, because I am hella stressed from watching this.
Oh my God.
At least 4 of your strongest cool packs will be nice.
I ain't got no cools, but
I need a strong Cuban Nicaragua cigar.
There we go. That was the man.
That was cringe. That was cringe.
She was her own lawyer, and
I don't know
if she
how that judge.
courtroom,
I don't know how that judge allowed her to do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I would have judged that real quick. Jury, go home. I got this one.
Throw it out. Throw it out.
Yeah. There's no way if that was not on Zoom, if that was in a courtroom, she would have lasted that long. No way. She knew.
Even if it was on Zoom, I would have muted that. He ain't even got to the leave it. Matter of fact,
and I would have made her pay his court fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. Is like he because she messed up and put it in the wrong court system, he has to pay court fees for that. And then on top of that, if she somehow she takes it to another circuit court or whatever, he may have to pay $10,000 for stress from not going on a date with her.
Intentionally inflicting emotional distress.
Right.
Intentionally criminal. There was criminal in there somewhere.
Okay. What?
But
Feel like it should be
Criminal Minds
or medicated on this one.
Smooth criminal.
The leave it or medicated is her reasoning for suing him. Do you think we should leave it alone and let her continue in her pursuit of the money from the emotional distress? Leave it just as it is? Or she needs to medicate it and really go get some medication and some psychiatric help? So, Chris, I'm going to let you go first on this. Do you want to leave it or medicate it?
And I'm going to medicate it.
All right, tell us why.
I'm going to medicate it because on so many levels, I can see why. I mean, even prior to leading up to the date, or whether they had a date or not, on why he was, was it a bad date or whatever that was. I could see why. Like, I could imagine on the worst small circumstances, she's just going ballistic and not really hearing or understanding what the situation is or what she needs to do. And she needs help. She needs some counseling, some emotional, mental. She needs some healing. She don't need a date for sure. No, you really, she don't need a date at all. But again, damn, sister, you need some help.
Damn, sister.
All right. Okay, so we got one medicated. Lord Trent, you want to leave it or medicate it?
Oh, double medicated.
Double medicated. Tell us why.
The double D's.
Hot 15.
More than heal, she needs to be exercised. Anyone that speaks that way to a judge is imbalanced, and I don't even want to make light of it, because I can clearly see why there was not a second date, especially like if like, what do we have confirmation there was a first date beforehand? Because if we do, I can clearly understand. Like, he just didn't even want to mention. Anyone that speaks to an authority figure like that, anyone that doesn't see the authority in certain positions like that and will willingly speak to people in that kind of way to get their point across, yes, you don't need to date. You need to focus on yourself. You probably need to you need to focus on getting away from other people entirely, like this. I try not to make it light, but I'm calling her crazy, and I'm not sorry about it.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
All right, Alexa, you gonna leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave it.
Opposite way, guys. All right, tell us why.
I think guys need to realize that you can't just look at a pretty face and jump on in.
Oh wow!
I don't think he got a chance.
Wait, hold on, guys.
She needs to be, an example, so guys can test the waters a little bit more. Maybe check some background medications, open up the medicine cabinet, see what she's taking. So, this will help. Sometimes you got to let a few devils out so the kiddies run back to church.
You're real Old Testament. I like that.
I'm gonna leave it.
All right. Man, okay.
Let the devil out. I love it. Let the devil out.
Let the devil out. Okay. I'm going to go with you guys, and I'm going to medicate it. Look, if you were damn sad about your mama, why did you even go on a date in the first place? Just stayed home and watched Law and Order SVU and ate some chocolate or something like that to get over it. You shouldn't have been going on a date if you were so obsessed about your mama passing away. You should have got help first. You ain't ready for dating to go out and go sue somebody that you would barely know. You didn't even go on a date yet. So you don't know anything about him, and you're just going to sue him. I wonder what excuse maybe he gave her. Did he just not talk to her and ghost her for the date, period? It don't don't even matter. There's no reason to have to sue somebody for $10,000. Now you're in the news. You're going to be reminded of your mother passing away because it's going to be in articles like this, and that people are going to be calling you crazy, like Lord Trent just did a second ago in a not so nice way. And I'm going to call you crazy too. Stay home next time. You can't go around just suing people just because someone ghosted you. Get over it. Go get some help. You can go talk, but whatever happened to the doctor circle where you just go talk bad about somebody and that was it. You know, go out to dinner somewhere. Go do what the wait until the sale girls did. Go cut your hair. Go burn a car, and then get over it. You know,
go hit a punching bag.
All right. This is what you do if you were married. This is what you would do if you were married to the guy and he cheated on you or he ghosted you somehow. He went out to go buy a pack. I don't even see women do this, that the guy leaves to go get a pack of cigarettes or go get some milk at a gas station, never comes back again. You're doing
that's terrible.
Cigarettes or milk.
Plot twist, she wins the case, but she doesn't get the money. She wins a date with him.
Or
wow.
She wins a date. Probably pretty much what you said. Yeah, she wins the case. That's a loss for him then. Damn.
And he's ordered to go on that date.
He has to pay for a $10,000 date with her. And he can't leave.
No, not a $10,000 date, just a date.
Or they gotta do dinner and a movie. It's gotta be dinner and a movie.
He gotta take her on dates that amount to $10,000 over a frame. Over 5 years. You have to take it until 10,000 is accumulated for every day.
But you know what though? I promise you, I would make sure I get every $10,000 worth out of every date that I possibly could.
And what counts as a date?
Whoa.
Look, I'm saying, Lord Trick, let's just say you could spend $1 for every date. You don't want to do that. You want to spend as much as you can and get it out the way. You don't want many dates. You want like a couple dates.
I just want to rack up as much as I can too. Like if
you could do a GoFundMe and go to a $10,000. Go to a $10,000 dinner.
Going on in the background. You know what I'm saying? I want a bunch of tabs open on dates.
Wouldn't it be crazy? You know what he should do? He should take her on a bourbon date and not give her a car ride, and hopefully she doesn't make it back for the other day.
I want to do multiple things in one day, and that be accumulate like multiple things in one day, and then people like different dates.
Look, if she was that bad in court as she is as an individual, I would not have a guilty conscience.
And I want bonus points. Like if the date goes really well, I want extra points, so it's like it knocks off some of that 10,000. You know what I'm saying? Give me an incentive. Give me a reason to work hard and make the date extravagant.
I'll get 10,000. Wait, 9,999 pennies.
Wow.
Deliver them to her door with a Reese's Pieces. There's your date.
If I take you, like if I take you to South Dakota,
you can stress with that. You made me stress out. Maybe use my bad back to rip up all these pennies, and then you're gonna go to court again, and then she's gonna sue you for another $10,000. It's just an cycle. It will never stop.
I'll be like,
for anything today.
Yeah.
She ain't never traveled the world, so each state has a certain amount of points, and this is how you can knock off that 10,000. If you take it to a whack ass state, you know what I'm saying, that's negative points. But if you take it to a state she always wanted to go to, a really popping state, that's like +5. You know what I mean?
You know what?
He crashed into a pole and paid the doctor bill.
No.
If you gotta pay medical bills, that's a whole different bag.
Right. That's gonna be more stress. That's gonna be physical therapy you have to take her to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like, you know what? I'll be like, look, we got up on the wrong foot. We got up on the wrong foot. Can we start over?
You want to reset?
I was like, I'm gonna have a reset. That's the excuse people usually use. Can we start over?
Mm-hmm.
So if I can run that and be like, okay, look, let's start over. We're gonna start over from the gate. We're gonna start over. And that way, I might be able to swindle or get back some of the paper I'm going to be paying her if that's what the case was. But I would make it sure that she end up paying me.
She too smart for that.
Yeah.
Only thing you can do
no,
is
she's
you can
not.
say we can start over.
She's too smart for that.
You gotta have to convince her to not want another date with you. So therefore, you tell her you'll go on a date, and you just gotta
Yeah, because it's not that she knows more; it's that she thinks she knows more. You can tell, like the way she talks, she think not even like just on like she thinks she knows more than everyone. Like, and when she doesn't, she'll just repeat the last thing she said. Are we done here?
You got to be sitting at the date, and like when they deliver the appetizers, to be like, "Oh, I wonder if I should take these on the spaceship later on tonight."
I'll be like, "I want to go."
Like, sure, let's.
You just gotta just
I'm gonna call my alien friends.
I'm saying it's like I'm gonna call NASA. We're gonna be
like, yeah, my people are coming to get me. You should come with us.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there. How about that? I'll meet you there.
That's how you make somebody not like you.
Ghosted again.
I'll be the Honda by the crater on the moon, by the dark side.
She'll be like, don't worry about the rest of the dates. This one was good.
What do you guys think about the other form of ghosting, where they actually let's say she went to meet him, and actually they both met. They ordered all this food. And then the bill came, and he slipped out the back door and left her with like a $500 dinner bill.
Well, there's a dude that's been doing that. What's his name? The Dine and Dash dude, like the.
I never even seen that before. For real?
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at it, but I heard about him a lot.
There's quite a few people, but yeah, there's a specific guy that was like doing that, racking up $500,000 dinner bills, and then he was like, "Oh, excuse me, I gotta go to the ladies' room."
I'll be right back. I'm having such a wonderful time. Like,
I can see somebody suing for that though, because you are losing financial gains from that.
Yeah, of course. Please, if I was that girl, I would give every shred of information I got on that dude. I would have.
There was about 6, 7, 12 of them.
To the restaurant, Facebook, Twitter, Snapgram. I said Snapgram, Snapchat, Instagram.
Snapgram too.
You just don't like throw rocks at cars anymore, huh? People just don't egg and scratch people's cars no more. They go to court now.
They put them on blast. Look, but I put in the chat, right? I said she read something somewhere, or one of her hood representatives told her that this can be done, and she tried it because somebody probably got away with this and told her about it.
It's always a first.
It's always a first. Yeah.
I feel like this was something she saw in meme form first before, like this wasn't an actual law she saw.
She said a meme.
Like I feel like this was a thread she read.
Mm-hmm.
How I got that a guy that sent me a thread.
That's how most people get their information. Facebook memes.
Well, I'm suing the next person that hurts my feelings.
Heck no. We better get all.
I'm suing you. I'm suing you. I'm suing you.
So now you motherfuckers.
Oh, you bobos.
What'd you say? Give me an address. Hold up.
That'd be something they could add that to a divorce, though. The emotional distress. Yeah. They can add that. Maybe I just don't know. I don't know the law, but if they could add that on top of splitting everything up and alimony, and also he got on my nerves really bad during our 10-year marriage. How much money can I get?
Everything.
Yep.
Or not a marriage, just a relationship.
Run it up.
Because what happens is, whether it's criminal or a civil matter, right? Mm-hmm. Or whether it's just you just making a complaint, you're going to come up with as many light charges to the situation as possible. Because if you have 20 charges.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No, I'm just saying, if you could pick 20 off this list of stuff that can apply in court to what you're filing for, you have a better opportunity of being successful at winning, because it can dwindle down, or they can settle and agree on a certain thing or a certain amount. So I don't know how their particular situation is going to work out, because I I don't even know, like the judge was trying to tell her that the information that she supplied in the complaint to file in court for her suit, it wasn't in the right place for one, but she didn't articulate that in her complaint. So it don't mean anything here. So, but therefore, even with her being assisted on it being transferred somewhere else, it's not even gonna fly. They're gonna look at that like, okay. And then she get in court talking all this other stuff that has nothing to do with her complaint that she filed. It's going to be dismissed or thrown out. So she put herself in bad water. She didn't listen to what he was saying. She should have, okay, look, this is information I need. What do I need to put in it? And got somebody to help her to put the information together for her complaint or her case. Other than that, she's going to take this same information that was thrown out here to go there. And for her, at the end of the day, because usually the loser is the one that got to pay the court costs.
Yeah.
The F is put into the complaint. But if not, each person going to pay their equal share of what it is. Or they're going to, if it's put into the complaint, the losing party going to pay for primarily both. So no matter what money you put out first, you're gonna get that back later if you win.
Right. I was so disturbed about her non-listening skills. I'm wondering, did the guy still was trying to go on a date with her back then? He just said, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. What? You're canceling on me? I'm suing your ass. How dare you cancel on me 10 minutes late? I knew you Negroes are always canceling on me. No. I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. That's it. Nah. I know what you mean by that. You're not showing up. I'm suing you.
Like, see you in court.
Or that 10 minutes turn into 3 hours, 4 hours, and he creep over there 12:30, 1 o'clock after he already went out.
I'm here.
Oh no.
Where are you at? The restaurant's closed. Where are you at? All right. Let's go into the last Leave It Ormedicated story for today. All right. We're going to the streets on this one, y'all. We're going to Sesame Street or Sesame Place. So recently, it's a shame. We gotta worry about adults disrespecting kids. We gotta worry about kids disrespecting kids. We shouldn't have to worry about fictional characters disrespecting kids. It happened. It's a family, two young
in the flesh.
They're at the center of a viral video recorded at Sesame Place in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I don't know if y'all know where that's at. And have hired a lawyer and demand further action from the theme park after they say their children were snubbed by a character by the name of Rosita. I have no idea. Jody Brown, who posted the video online, and her 6-year-old niece were joined by lawyer Beavery Lamar, I'm saying that right, for a press conference outside Sesame Workshop in New York City on Wednesday. Lamar said they don't want to sue the company, and it isn't about money. He said it is about making things right, and that hasn't happened yet. You told these kids for years, come and play. Everything's okay. Friendly neighbors there. That's where we meet. Can you tell me how we get to Sesame Street? Oh, I'm actually reading the song lyrics. And these kids figure out how to get to Sesame Street. They reach out in open arms to these friendly neighbors. For what? To be dismissed, to be rejected, and to leave your park inferior. The 9-second video posted to Instagram on Saturday by Brown shows the mother of the young girl showed the character Rosita high-fiving a white child and woman, then gesturing no in the Kimbe form and walking away from the two girls who had their arms stretched out for a hug and high five during the parade at Sesame Place in Langhorne outside Philadelphia. So what I'm going to show right now, I'm going to show the main video that's gone viral and been all in the news. Then I'm going to show some other videos that pretty much show that there is a pattern going around for them not showing any love to kids of color. Find that video right quick.
Man, I'm glad that I wasn't there. You see her face? Wow.
All right, that's the first video, and let me pull up this other video that shows a few more reactions to Sesame Street characters.
Ridiculous.
Oh, it wasn't part of it? I thought it was part of it. That's why I didn't even focus on it. Hey! Hey! Who said it's okay, Big Bird? That girl that was stepping on the front. Hey! You wanted a down.
Like, are you serious? You're not gonna speak to my child? And did you see that baby's face at the end, the little one with the pink on? She deserves an explanation. Hello? Okay.
Okay, this is the main one that we showed.
You get a hug, Mom? Well, go stand over there and see what happens. Elmo, Mom!
Oh, that's sad.
That's the only one you know. I was waiting for Elmo that whole time. I only know Elmo.
Definitely looks like a parody, man. Dang, it's another video.
Oh, damn. It was an imaginary high five.
I've been happy with Big Bird anyway. All right.
This is why I always fuck with the Muppets. I'm gonna say that like this. That's why I always fuck with Kermit. I fuck with Gonzo. I fuck motherfucking fuck Sesame Street, yo.
Ain't safe out here in this street.
I gotta say, I didn't have that experience there, and they clearly had a total different change in staff.
Yeah, I don't
when
even
I was
recognize
there, Elmo was twerking with me, so it was a totally different.
Look, there's something disturbing about that too, so we need to replace him as well.
I'm serious. I got video clips. I have the same video clips of that parade. It was totally different staff. They were way more. I don't know what happened, but I last time I was there was about 6 years ago.
They stopped hiring strippers for Sesame Street characters.
No, it was like
for racist instead.
I was like, oh
God. Their Indeed posts are a little different these days.
Right. I think I almost knocked a couple kids down to get to Elmo. I was like, dang, I like regressed or something. I didn't realize I would do that. I was
Elmo
like,
used to mean something.
You had a dance off with him?
I love Elmo. I was like, and I got pictures and everything, good video clips, totally different staff. So I don't know what happened between 6 years ago and the last couple years.
Look, like I'd have hugging on you too.
I think it was a girl in Elmo, but still.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
all the I said the creatures, all the characters, all in the crowd and everything. Like, I don't know what is up with this crowd.
Okay.
Totally different staff.
So to leave it or medicate it, I think this is probably pretty simple, but I never know. To leave it or medicate it, will you leave it alone and say there's much to do about nothing? I'm like, leave it alone, move on, tell the kids, hey, this is life. You're going to be disregarded by much worse people as you get older. Or should you think they're going the right path, medicate it, sue their ass. Take them to court, take them to the cleaners, or at least have them make a statement and hire new staff. If you do believe that, then you're going to medicate it. Okay? So with that being said, LT, I'm going to let you go first on that one. So do you want to leave it or medicate it?
Shout out to Lil Wayne. Didn't even look. Well, no, there we go. Yeah, we're going to medicate it.
You going to medicate it. Tell us why.
Sue the ever-living shit. These are the people that need to be sued. Because you know what actually pisses me off? The things that I see when white parents are allowed to take their white children out of history classes because they don't want their white kids to feel bad about being white when they start talking about Black history and slavery and the things that white people actually used to do and still do today. They don't want their children to have to face the reality that this is what comes with being white. You are also in some way attached to white supremacy because you benefit from white privilege. Just like Black children have to immediately deal with the reality that they are Black, that race matters, that is going to be a factor in your life no matter what happens in the most innocent aspects of what. Like, these are children that literally grew up, and they're only like 2 or 3, 4 years old, that idolize these characters that now see them as ill. No. You know what that does to a child's self-esteem going forward?
Don't drop that mic, man. I know that costs some money, man. You don't want to replace no mics. You drop
Prime account. It was very affordable.
You only drop other venues' mics. You never drop your own mic. That's the rule. Only drop other people's mics.
Duly noted.
Okay, Alexa, do you want to leave it or medicate?
This is gonna be my first medicated of the night.
I know, right? You've been off tonight. Tell us why.
Because they need to be unmasked. Unmask them, like on Scooby-Doo. I want them to be unmasked. I want people to see who they are so they can say, "This is
Old Man Johnson."
Kids. Unmask them. That's all I want. They don't have to be sued, but I want them to be unmasked. Because let me tell you something. Any two ways, they would have not done that if they knew their face was going to be shown. Medicated. By unmasking.
You're real short tonight. I like it.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, on to you now. You want to leave it or medicate it?
Hostile therapy family. I'm going to medicate it.
All right, let's go to medicate it.
I'm going to medicate it, man.
Tell us why.
Listen, I've been in a lot of situations in my life, and I've always been taught to take the high road. Man, the hell with the high road. Okay. I should have been comfortable living well right now, but because I took the high road, you know, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, doing whatever. I have to use the system against the system. They would do the same to us if we did something like that and run away with it with flying colors. So, and one of the things that I experienced as a child dealing with racism and things like that, it changed me as an individual forever. And so the hurt and pain that you can see in these children's eyes, their self-esteem, like Lord Trent said that it would break you down. Like, what's wrong with me? How come they didn't hug me? Or how come he didn't touch me? And they're not the same as they are on TV. So the whole comparison, and your parents like telling you there's a such thing as Christmas, and them telling you, oh, it's okay, baby, we're going to move on from it. No, they need to know the truth, straight up and down. They need to know the truth as a melanin child in this world, what they may and have going to experience, but continue to support their self-esteem and their image as they're growing along. Because matter of fact, my cousin didn't want to be a black boy. He tried to do everything white during the MTV age because of how he was being treated in school and other places. This needs to stop. Hit him in the pocket. That's the only way he understands.
I did love MTV. I'm not even. I love NSYNC. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God.
I have an older sister. She used to listen to a lot of NSYNC.
Don't blame it on her.
Hey, look. They got some hits. I would love to see a versus.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
NSYNC all the way. NSYNC washing all day. Solo. Justin Timberlake solos. Come on.
True.
Name a Backstreet Boy member. I'll wait.
I'm talking about before Michael Jackson came on. I'm talking about MTV way back.
Oh wow.
Oh, before they had black people.
Yeah, before they had black people. Before they had Run DMC.
Yeah, definitely.
MJ was the first. Like MJ really had to. MJ was threatening to sue them because they wouldn't allow even his videos to be played.
All right,
and after that they blew up.
Because it's motherfucking Michael Jackson. Like,
oh yeah, be right. All right. Let's see. Leave it medicated. I'm going to agree with the rest of you. I'm going to medicate it. And here's why. Now, we have seen the evolution of athletes. We've seen the evolution of cars. And now we're seeing the evolution of Klansmen, because now they're dressed up as Sesame Street characters. And the same way the Klansmen, who are gutless and cowardly by wearing masks and not showing their faces, showing what they actually believe, what rhetoric they actually believe about the races. Now they have graduated the Sesame Street characters. So we need to unmask them. That we need to, if we can sue for dates and everything else, why not sue for distress from this? The company, with their horrible apology, they need to be sued. They need to change their hiring practices so this doesn't happen again. When are we going to actually see the face and get a name of this person? It's been a few days now. We haven't gotten a name yet. It's not like this is a molestation or rape victim or something like that where we need to hide the name to protect them. We need to know who this person is. Then again, maybe we do need to hide it because they're probably going to get their ass whooped.
No, let that out.
Okay, it's not just one person; it's several people. So there you go.
They're gonna be witness protection,
right? Mob justice.
That's crazy. Yeah, witness protection for Sesame Street characters.
Somebody there needs to make a copy of that schedule and say who is playing who on that day.
Hey, look!
They
just run up on you. Hey, look! Can you show me how to get to Sesame Street?
It's just so sad because I have so many good memories. Like I told you, I took my son there every year while I was in New Jersey. And the last time I went there was 6 years ago. So every single time we went, it was just like.
Because, they said, it was started for inner city children.
Ooh, look at that question there.
Wow.
I thought about that. I thought about that.
Uncle Ruckus, because, he got like 1 billion jobs. I was thinking, what if it's or Mexican. I'm sorry, a Hispanic. Cancel.
Yeah.
She asked, what if the Sesame Street character wasn't white?
It could be that dude who played in the Django. What's his name? Samuel L. Jackson played.
Stephen.
Wow.
You gonna let him in the big
house? Yeah.
That would be crazy if that was the actual case. So,
he ride a horse?
He said, who that on that neck?
You know that nigga knows you.
They easily could do that. What if they actually would have do that? That it actually was a white person in there. But then to save grace for them, they're like, okay, Michael, black guy, we need you to take the heat. So we don't get sued for this. So let's go bad on us.
I would go to the news immediately.
Yeah, Michael needs to, or Michael needs to set some really high terms.
They're gonna pay him, of course, but will he take the bait?
He gonna be like that guy. Remember that story we did from the guy from Burger King, and he got like some pens and a cup and a gift card.
Yeah,
he retired.
Terrible negotiation skills.
Yeah.
Already don't like it.
Is it 25, 27 years?
You didn't even get a coupon booklet. Like, what the, come on.
Right. I'm missing a day from fast food.
He's like, first of all, since
Chicken fries for life off rip.
I want free popcorn for a week. And then after that, I want 2 days off a year. You know, I'm tired of not being able to get some time off to look after my 8 kids. And then after that, I want a hat and a slushie. Can we agree to that?
I don't care if I was making 8 figures. I'm taking a week off at least.
You should. For a whole year, you should.
I want to be able to come to work dressed as the Burger King. I want to wear the Burger King outfit.
You want to wear those?
That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't want to flip. I don't want to do nothing. I want to dress as the Burger King. Make me the mascot. Matter of fact, now I want to be the mascot. That's what I want. Fuck the Burger King in general. Just put a crown on me and put a Whopper in my hand.
King me.
Boom.
We'll walk around eating Whoppers all day.
Burger King, yeah. That's the slogan. Burger King, y'all.
No, you don't want to do that, man. Ronald gonna come from you, man. Ronald.
Hey, look, I'm ready for the smoke. All we got is fries.
Ronald, man.
Hey, look,
you see all the characters he got behind
Ronald gonna come with the AK, bro.
Because look,
the AR-15.
I thought about this. I'm gonna have alliances, right? I'm gonna get alliances. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna holler at my cookout. I'm gonna holler at them because they ain't even got a mascot.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna put them.
Just
put them in the game. And then I'm gonna holler at McDonald's other big competition.
Not Wendy's.
Lord Trent.
No, not Wendy's.
Yeah, go get Wendy to set him up.
No,
go get him at the hotel. And you come in and blast him.
No, Taco Bell is real spicy. Taco Bell love getting in war like that. I'm gonna show Taco Bell how to make burgers. I'm gonna give them the Krabby Patty. I'm gonna give them the Krabby Patty secret.
Not the Krabby Patty.
The Krabby Patty secret.
Too far.
I'm gonna give it to them.
You're going too far talking about giving the Krabby Patty. Now you can't go. Now you done stepped over the line. I got.
Yeah.
I'm backing out of that.
Yeah. I'm warring with heaven. It's real. It's biblical.
We can't get the Krabby Patty recipe.
I'm gonna give it to them, and I'm gonna just let the flood. I just want chaos. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
You do if you want to.
No, I've never been to Cookout.
Yeah, Cookout is a bomb.com.
Is it like a Five Guys?
It's better because you don't have to pay.
Basically, that's right.
It's like Five Guys. Okay.
But
you do not pay Five Guy money though, but you get a lot with your meal though.
Yes, but they have gone up though.
A little bit.
Yeah, but not compared to Five Guys. But
I'm gonna link up with Checkers too. I'm gonna give them a mascot.
You ain't winning this battle, man. You going after this week on Checkers.
Checkers is delicious. I don't die on that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to Checkers either. Y'all got all kind of restaurants. See?
I was like, when I was in Philly, I used to walk a couple blocks to go get that at night when it was open late at night.
I used to have that on my college campus. Like we had it on our campus. Like we had an actual card that they would give us called Viking Books. Mm-hmm. They would give us like $75 to just go to this restaurant, whatever the fuck we wanted. No, it was terrible for our health in hindsight, but delicious.
Yeah, that was that late night, feeling that late night hunger.
Yeah, I wish we had an Ivers here. That's what I missed.
I haven't been to that. I never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. I'm down south, like super down south.
It's seafood.
Oh, okay.
No, we got Captain Willie's. That's Captain Willie's here.
It's so good.
Sandpiper ain't been there yet.
Yeah, that's how I'm from Fayetteville. I told you.
All right, so we all agree on that one. Good.
I know we got all 4 medications. You have a big syringe on them.
What kind of moon is out there tonight, Alexa? I know you know.
Yeah, the only way they're gonna fix that problem is hit them in the pockets, though.
Yeah.
The moon was in
they're not gonna change their morality overnight. Like no one does that.
Class action.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to send a picture of when I was there and talk about they was ignoring me too.
Look,
I want to sue this person.
Alexa, you can get a sexual harassment class action lawsuit. You just gotta find some other people.
Some video Elmo twerking. Oh, Elmo was twerking. I love you. I'm a classy lady.
That's emotional distress.
Elmo was touching her, and he was like, "Does that tickle?"
That always gives me child molestation vibes with that Elmo.
Yeah, like he really likes to be touched. He really likes it.
Elmo like it.
Something's a little off about that one.
Elmo was always my favorite character, so I
I
didn't
told you,
realize
I
that.
really fuck with the Muppets. Like the
I
Sesame
didn't
Street.
realize
Like,
that. I
I fuck
literally
with Count.
got excited like a little kid. I
He's like,
surprised myself.
I got long fingers.
Oh God. Now they're gonna sue you, Chris. Now you're ruining other people's childhood now.
I can't do it.
All right, let's go into the main topic for today. On this, we're going to go from 1 minute speeches, then we're going to go to 2 minute speeches now. So you get to elaborate a little bit longer about your point of view. The question is, can you truly love someone unconditionally? Can you truly do that without conditions? Okay. So first, Chris, I'm gonna let you go with that one first. You have 2 minutes. This is not It Ormedicate It, guys. This is just your state of your opinion.
Wow.
So,
I've done a show on this before, back in the past, bro. We can practice unconditional love, but as human beings, there's no such thing as unconditional love, because we have emotions, we have feelings, we have pride, we have ego, and there's no way that 100% that we're going to be unconditional towards anybody at any given time. Now they always sway back and forth and vice versa, but you can have a deep love for somebody, but unconditional, I'm not sure if that exists. It's a phrase. It has good intent behind it, but I just don't believe that there's a such thing as unconditional love. We can practice treating someone well, treating any and everyone around us well, but just based on the frequency here in today's society, there's just no such thing as unconditional love. So that's what I want to say about that.
Okay. All right. Alexa, let you go next.
Oh Lord, how do I explain this? Why you gotta get so deep? Oh my gosh. So this is my personal experience. I have to answer this from a personal place. So as a spiritual person, no, it's impossible. You could if you wanted to. We just don't have the capability to. Yeah, we have the desire to, but we don't have the capability to. So to me, I liken that in the same boat as the concept of eternity. We can't conceive it, our minds can't. And just like we can't love unconditionally, no matter how much we will want to, no matter how much we desire to. The reason why is because we live in a world of duality with polar sides. So we're here to experience duality. Therefore, there is no unconditional love here. It's not available to us. Even if it was right there, you wouldn't be able to pick it up. That's not what we're here for. We're here to learn different lessons. We're here to learn lessons of degrees. So therefore, it's not even on the menu for us to love unconditionally. Even though you can get as close as you want to, you will never ever reach that point because it's impossible for a human to unconditionally love. No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Or Trent, can you love someone unconditionally? What say you?
I am going to have to say yes, you can.
All right.
I mean, standing on everything, I believe personally, I put the Lord in front of my name. To love is something that is uniquely divine. Like I feel like the universe is connected through love. That is the strongest presence within the universe. It's what binds the sky to the ground and keeps us safe as humans. It's the most divine thing we can do. To err is human, to forgive is divine. So the love you feel for your child, the love a parent gives to their child, I can think of too many times in my life where I had no explicit reason to be loved, but my parents, my family, my siblings, specific people in my life showed me unconditional love and showed me that, you know, I'm not alone, that my journey is not my own. You know, I am worth loving, which made me love myself, because the unconditional love has to start from a place of self. Before you can give it to other people, you need to know how to unconditionally love yourself. Without that knowledge, you can't go out and give it to the world. You can't give it to a loved one. You can't give it to a child. You can't give it to friends or family. And those things that you want to hold closely to you are going to soon dissipate. So am I the only one that's actually going to full 2 minutes? It's crazy. I'm just going to end abruptly at nowhere, just in the middle of my.
I do that all the time.
You getting that full ring?
I feel like I said everything. Well,
all right. Okay, can you love someone unconditionally? I will say no. Simply because me and Chris talked about this one time. The difference between what is right and wrong in the world is what your emotional attachment is connected to. Because you can see people like Bill Cosby, and people love Bill Cosby and they will forgive him because their emotional attachment is what he did for Black America. Versus if it was just a regular guy in the street, all of a sudden the same crime is viewed as wrong because the emotional attachment is stronger for Bill Cosby for what he's done versus when someone is a regular person can do the same crime. The emotional attachment is connected to the crime now because the crime has a higher emotional attachment than to the person they attach it to. Going into people, if you're in a relationship, you have conditions. You're alive. You say you don't have a condition while you're with somebody. Either you want that person to work, either you want that person not to cheat on you, you want that person not to beat you, you want that person not to kill someone in your family. That's a condition.
Okay.
I mean, it's natural. It's natural. I mean, so that's unconditional. Can you love somebody who slaps your mama?
No.
Probably not. You're probably going to be upset. Can you love somebody who beats your kids unrelentlessly? Probably not. The closest thing I do think you can probably get to unconditional love is probably your kids. But I think there's also a condition too, especially if you're religious, you probably have something in your religion, for most people who are religious, that you will go to and say, if they do this against your God, then you will no longer love them or you'll no longer have them in your life.
That's whack religion. You shouldn't do.
Right. But I think
God is love, man. God is love
for everything. I don't think there's anything wrong with it when you're speaking on this realm against as far as the flesh is concerned. Spiritually, I think you can love somebody unconditionally because you're looking at just that. That can do no wrong. But flesh-wise, you're always going to fall short of perfection. And that's why you can say love is divine because it's coming from a spiritual place, I would say anyway. But no, I don't think you can love anyone of this earth. I don't think you can love someone unconditionally. I think you're lying if you're saying you can do no wrong in no one's eyes and they will forever love you, no matter what they do.
I want to make a disclaimer when you're done. Disclaimer. Okay, once upon a time, I used to say, yeah, there's such things as unconditional love. The reason why I had to change is because I want to say for the last, gosh, darn it now, almost 18 years, I've been deeply studying, and I mean deeply, deeply, deeply studying all kind of spiritual beliefs, phenomena, whatnot, and particularly NDEs and OBEs. If you don't know what that means near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences. I've probably listened to over, it has to be upwards 3,000-4,000 of them over the last 16, 17 years. One thing that was consistent in all of them, no matter who it was, pastor, preacher, crooked person, drug lord, prostitute, one thing they said is always this: on that other side, it doesn't matter how much you think you know about love, and no matter how much you love someone, it's just 10% of what actual, real, true, unconditional love is. Mm-hmm. and I'm talking about across the board. And they're like, there's no words for it. There's no explanation for it. And what got me researching all that is my spiritual experience. And though I can't put it into words and I can't recall it, I still can remember the feeling. Nothing on earth comes close to it. That's unconditional love. And I'm talking about people who love their kids, want the best for them, never wanted to be away from them. Those same people on the other side, they had to come back and eventually admit, I didn't want to come back. And I'm talking about I could have the best family, the best marriage, the best. Always said, I really didn't want to come back because that is just, you just can't describe it. So anything that will make you, we say loving your kids is the closest. Well, the fact that loving, doting parents would still say, I got to admit, I was dealing with something inside because I felt so guilty when I came back. I felt guilty because over there I was begging to stay knowing I had kids and everything else. That love, you cannot compare to here. So that's why I say it's not unconditional.
You know, you definitely...
it can be deep. It can be unmerited.
Right.
It can be,
some people love God that
close,
way,
but it can't get to that pure love. It can't get to that degree.
Yeah, I was like, I think the best way I might have tried to explain it to somebody, whether you do it now or you like it now when you was a kid, what was your favorite food? And you taste that favorite food or done your favorite thing, and just that emotion that you got. Like, I would just say like a warm glass of milk with cookies. That used to be like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying?
Milk and cookies.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like
chocolate chip pancakes and bacon.
And so it kind of felt like that whole emotion was enveloped in you. Just like it's too much for you to handle. I've had a near-death experience, and it made you want to cry because you never feel just the pure genuineness of that experience, and you come back here, and you're like, wow, and I got to deal with this realm and this competing to try to get somebody to love you, accept you unconditionally, or just being who you are and not have an issue or a problem with it. It's never going to happen. So I think we're more tolerated than accepted. There are acceptance, but I think we're more tolerated of ourselves and each other than anything else here. That's in my opinion and my experience. But I do have I have deep love for individuals and people. Yes, I do.
Right. I think time kills a person's ability to love someone unconditionally too, because people don't want to have to persevere to love somebody. They think that should just come naturally. You think the other person that's being cruel to you should just naturally love you and do what you want them to do to make you feel loved. And now, more so than ever, this is why marriages don't tend to last. People don't want to persevere because they always think there's something greener on the other side of the fence.
For sure.
When they take those vows, what are the vows you can say for sickness or poor, sickness and health or whatever, rich or poor? Basically, the good with the bad. You want to take it. That is pretty much, that's one way of defining unconditional love. But does anybody really want to go through all that? Most people don't, because now they figured there's so many other options out there and time is not on my side. I'm going to die one day. I'm not going to live forever. Why not go ahead and maximize my options and get out of this and go get somewhat conditional love or somewhat unconditional love from someone else, not full unconditional love. Time.
And sometimes the deeper you love somebody, it's like the person you care about the most a lot of times, especially in an intimate relationship, they end up being the ones that they treat you like a piñata. And when I say that, they feel like they can dump all this stuff on you. They feel like because I love you, I could treat you any kind of way because I love you and this and that, the third. It's this excuse and dumping as opposed to Somebody could support you till the wheels fall off. But at some point in time, you're gonna get tired of dealing with somebody else's stuff on a daily basis, as opposed to you working together to support and heal each other. Become a healing aspect of it. Become a solution-based relationship, as opposed to being the toxic, I tick for tack. I'm gonna get you before you get me, or tearing somebody down with that mindset. It just never works. So yeah, that unconditional, it's just words.
LT, I think you mentioned it in your speech earlier, that you have to be able to love yourself first before you can give unconditional love. Did you say that?
Lord
Or was you, Alexa? Who said that? Okay, he
Lord
said
Trick.
Yeah, you have to find that love from within, because like we said,
but you can also hate yourself.
Right. The only reason I brought that up is because I know people will probably say examples are like, okay, what about the woman that sticks with a guy that just stays in trouble? Okay, I'll throw out a name. Khloe Kardashian. Oh, there you go. We'll throw that one out there. She keeps sticking by the guy for allegedly messing with other girls, cheating with other girls, getting other girls pregnant, whatever. Or a guy that keeps going to prison over and over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, look at that. She's sticking by him. That's unconditional love right there. And I think that's desperation. That's not unconditional love. That's because she feels incomplete. And she feels like if he leaves me, then I can't feel good about myself. I feel incomplete if he leaves me. So I don't think that's unconditional love. I think that's desperation on her behalf because she doesn't love herself.
I think it's tolerance for whatever reason.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's tolerance, because if you think about it, you can never really unconditionally love somebody, because every person you will ever meet, you met under conditions. And I mean, you have to really think about it in a deep way.
There you
Every person you ever meet in life, during this life, you met under a condition. Whether it's your child, whether it's a partner, love, you met them under a condition. Therefore, when I say you can only have unconditional love on the other side, that's because God knew you before you were you. That's why you can have unconditional love. You can't have unconditional love here on earth because every person you meet is under a condition. For instance, you say you can have unconditional love for your children, right? For example, you have twins. Something happens along the way where, let's just say, worst case scenario, the state takes one, raises that child to their 16. You raise the other twin to their 16. Some fluke accident happens or whatever, the foster parent, whoever died, or the kid didn't do good, somehow or another ended up back in your household. All kinds of issues, all kinds of habits, all kinds of problems. And you raise this other one under all these different conditions that has a promising future, this, that, another. These are twins, both yours. And it gets to the point where you have to make a decision. Are you going to allow them to be in the same household when one starts influencing the other? Two different conditions.
Right.
Both your children. Every single person you meet under a condition. There is no such thing as unconditional love if you meet them under a condition.
True. I definitely believe that. I mean, I think all the stories damn near we were talking about, at least the first couple of date ones, they had conditions. They were even going to continue the date or go on another date because they had conditions. The guy was like, I'm not going to send a car out your way. You should be able to hold your alcohol. I can't unconditionally love someone who can't drink. And she was like, I can't be with a guy that doesn't care about my safety. There's a condition right there. I mean, most people, I would think most women want to be with a guy they can feel safe with. Yeah. If you automatically, okay, here's a perfect example. Looks, that's a condition. If I happen to get acid thrown on my face and my face is horribly burned off, like I don't know, like I went through a Chernobyl accident or something, is she going to still be with me? Or I
She
develop
has to be into
erectile
that.
dysfunction tomorrow and I can no longer get it up. That's a condition.
I'd rather have the acid face.
Wow.
Peace. See you later.
Might be somebody into acid face, but you know that ED.
They
Damn.
always got Halloween. So people
Yeah.
And then we got to stop confusing unconditional love with unconditional tolerance.
Mm. Yeah.
You can love somebody, the heck out of them, and not want to be around them.
unconditional lust.
You can
Yeah,
you
that-
can
that-
wish
yeah.
me the best. You can bend over backwards, but you can't be in my space.
Mm-hmm.
You don't not love that person. You might even still be willing to die for that person,
Right.
but
Yo,
you don't want to deal with them.
no, that's a good point because I've asked one of my relationships one time. We were living together, and I was just like, "Yo, you know, like we really should be roommates for sure." Because, like, obviously, you don't really like me. I don't like you. We in a situation. I could go in the back room. You can be in this room, and it's not the third. Like, we really should be roommates because there ain't nothing else really popping off. I really don't like. We only having sex because we're familiar with each other. But other than that, ain't nothing else really going on. If we stop that, we just gonna be roommates. Like, you know. So, like, what do you want to do?
I don't think you should never have the feeling that you can disappoint somebody if unconditional love really exists.
Right.
Like, I don't want to show that I did this thing wrong or I've done these. Let's just say somebody start doing drugs. I can't reveal that I'm doing drugs and my wife might leave me or whatever, or she'll be very disappointed or whatever. I don't think you should be able to have that kind of feeling if you were to truly believe unconditional love exists. You would not believe that person would leave you under any circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I'm out here in these streets.
Wow.
Like I know she don't, you know, she wonder where I'm getting all this money from. I'm out here balling and whatever, but I don't want to tell her because before we got together, that's one of our conditions. But she's living off the lifestyle. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
She's, you know, so I mean, it's a lot of different things. You could be into voyeurism. You could be into multiples, quads, triangles. And she might not be into that at all, but you love her. But that's a part of you that she just not going to get what she don't like. So, so you know, what do you do in that circumstance? What do you call that circumstance?
Y'all took it freaky dicky.
I think
I feel like everyone, you should just be clear about your conditions. Yeah, unconditional. Boom. Here's green light, yellow light, red light. Red light, deal breakers. Yellow.
I guess I'm looking at it in the sense of like I can unconditionally love someone, and that someone is myself. Not in the narcissistic sense, but in a sense that you always should. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you ever want to give any form of love to anyone, you must first know how to love yourself properly.
All right.
That way you can teach people how to love you.
I agree with you, but my thing with that is self-mastery requires you to challenge yourself. It requires you to judge yourself. It requires you to prune yourself. And as soon as
but love should never be absent in your judgment. Like you can judge harshly or judge not harshly, but you can judge honestly and directly on yourself. You can judge very boldly on yourself while still loving yourself. Like a weight loss journey. I'm currently on one right now. In order to get more comfortable with my body, like during the day, I work out in more less clothing than I usually would. Instead of a hoodie, just a t-shirt. Instead of a t-shirt, it's a tank top. Slowly working my way down to being shirtless to where I'm more comfortable with my form and who I am. Still being able to look at myself and say, okay, I need to work here. Still need to add this to the regimen. Need to add this to the diet. Need to cut this out. Still being able to critique myself. You know what I'm saying? Not just giving myself a pass. Like, oh, I'm perfect the way I am. This is love myself. No, still, but loving the work that's being put into it.
I mean, I get it. I just feel like the ego is there for a reason. It's not a bad thing. We think the ego is bad. No, ego is our vehicle for this test. You need your ego.
Depending on how you use it
in check. So therefore, you need to judge yourself. You need to sometimes say, Okay, you tripping, you tripping, Alexa. Do this. Oh, you were wrong. Unconditional love does not do that, but we do it to ourselves. We make ourselves feel like this or that, and sometimes it's do, and sometimes it's undo. But I feel like for this particular journey, Earth, because I personally think there are worlds out there that don't have duality. We have duality because this is the test we signed up for. Just like if you sign up for a certain degree in college, you might not like every class.
Nope.
You might not want to go to PE. But it better be checked off, or you're not walking that out. So this is a hard test. Earth is hard. According to my research, Earth is hard.
Earth is ghetto. Earth is the
it's
ghetto
hard.
of the universe.
I've listened to, like I said, I've listened to thousands of these stories. And some of them have seen other places. Some of them have remembered other places, but then they couldn't remember when they got back. This is a hard test. It's a hard test.
And as you get older too, right? As you get older, you don't, a lot of things that I used to care about, things that used to bother me about myself or other people and things of that nature. It's like over these last 15 years, every year it's like 3 or 4, 5 more layers and got peeled off. Things that I don't even like, damn, I was really thinking about that, or I really felt that way about myself, or somebody I'm more focused on myself now than anything else. I'm more focused on supporting and doing the things that uplift and make people happy. And for me, I've always been a humanitarian, a service type of person. And that has been the most helpful for me. But I also learned too, there's a limit to who you can lend your service self out to. Because like I said, I put in the chat, you'll end up being a pinata for a lot of things, a lot of people, whether it's a corporation, whether it's business partners, whether it's your best friend, your associate, whoever. You could be people's, people can bleed on you, but expect you not to, they want you to carry that. And I just learned over a period of time, I can't carry that for you. I'm like, this is your work. You have to do that. I ain't gonna keep telling you, keep providing advice for you, keep doing this for you, but you keep sticking to that same cycle. And so every time I come out of something to get older, it's like I'm coming out of these cycles. I'm getting off that hamster wheel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, Chris, you say something interesting about age.
Yeah.
With age, of course, comes experience and memories. So what I would say is, if there is a such thing as unconditional love, you can maybe have it as a child. The child will almost love their parents if they really love their parents. No matter what they do. Even when they beat if there's an abusive parent or whatever, they'll still love them through all that for the most part. And then as they get older and they, recollect what they actually happened to them as a child, they're like, oh, I really was abused. I don't know if I really liked them or not. Or anybody else who abuses children. As a youngster, I think you can unconditionally love somebody. Maybe. That's the closest thing to it. But as you get older and you develop more memories and stuff like that, I think that lessens. But let me give you two example of something. Hold on for a minute.
Because your experience is so new, it's your emotions are pure, your thoughts are pure.
Interesting.
I was going to give you. Hold on, let me type something right quick. I think Alexa got to go. I was going to give you this position, a juxtaposition, right? Who do you think can come closest to unconditional love? You remember that situation in Texas? I think it was Texas. I might be wrong, but there was a female cop, the white cop, that went to the wrong apartment and killed the black guy.
I do remember that. Yes.
Right. It was a few years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And she was found guilty, and I think the brother of the guy that got killed, he was talking about how he forgives her or her, what she did, her wrongdoing, whatever. Even though she didn't admit the wrongdoing, she
He
still
did say
said,
that dumb shit. I'm sorry, he's grieving.
right.
He did say that dumb shit.
Right.
I'm sorry.
The other family, I think, were against it. They were like, we don't agree with you saying that.
Because he dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Right. But
Nah, that was for the TV, bro.
hold on.
The TV dumb. He dumb.
When does it present two positions on that? Because it happens. I've seen this happen at other times. I've just kind of given that for example. Mm-hmm. So that example, to a complete stranger, to someone he doesn't know, he has no somewhat emotional attachment. He doesn't have any ties to her. He's not it's not a family member. It's not a friend. It's a stranger, right? And he says, "I forgive her. God forgive, God bless her and all that. And I still love her. I will be there for her if she ever, wants to talk about what happened and
so she can shoot your black ass too."
Right. Versus another situation, let's just say a family member kills one of your family members. Let's say a family member kills your brother. And they also go to court and the person gets prosecuted, gets sentenced to prison, and the brother, surviving member, says he forgives him and he loves him. Which do you think is closer to being unconditional love between those two? Beside the fact that what the guy in Texas or whatever, the guy seems like, mixed up in the head or crazy, whatever. But it happens a lot where people forgive strangers who kill family members versus a family member who killed a family member. Which do you think of the two is closer to resembling unconditional love?
I would have to go a family member because for you to forgive a stranger, that I don't think that's unconditional love. That's I feel like that's more trauma bonding than anything. Like like seeking closure, like you just need that to grieve. You need that to heal. Like I don't think that's love in any sense. Like that confusion is fucking dangerous. I don't like because what old boy did is dumb. I don't know if I said that or not. But him saying that he like would do anything for the woman that killed his brother is dumb. And
probably too.
It's dumb, and he's dumb for that. Yeah, but look, a family member killing a family member, I can understand the fucked up situation that would put you in. Of yes, I'm grieving for this one, but I'm also like this is a great episode. That's what the title should be. The Gray episode. The Gray album.
The Gray album. All right. No, I think it's a hard question to ask, and I only say that, and I don't really have a definite answer, and I'm just kind of throwing it out there because that's a rhetorical question. Because to not have any emotional attachment, like I would feel like, I don't know, it's different. I feel like it would be harder to forgive a stranger, which I have no ties to, I have no good memories from. I'm like, man, we grew up, man. I can't believe you did it. But you're still fam. I'm gonna forgive you. Versus a stranger is like, I don't got no reason to forgive you at all. I don't even know you. I can't love you. Or maybe I can because
know you, man.
People say you should love everybody. God says you should love everybody, not just your family.
God loves everybody.
Right.
God forgives, and I don't.
Right. But see, we look at other people from the other side of what they really are, and I think that's because he forgives everything, but we don't forgive everything.
He forgives, but I still got to punish you.
Right. Right.
I am an instrument used by him to instill this ass whooping.
Right. And I don't disagree. I mean, it's just a difficult question. I think I don't know if you could be wrong with either answer. I'm just kind of saying like which one looks more unconditional. To be able to, I think it would be easier for me to possibly forgive somebody.
Unconditional, I would just say
you be like, fam, I'll forgive you. I love you. You family, but I can't fuck with you no more.
Right.
Yeah, like,
Now, whereas though the person that you don't know, again, there's no ties. I don't know you from
yeah, I'll spit on that person.
nothing. Can
Wouldn't
of
that be
paint.
harder though? Wouldn't that be harder to forgive a stranger though? You think?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like that looks more like unconditional than the family member.
That I don't know if I would call that unconditional because like I don't think love has to be specifically involved for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love doesn't have to be involved.
Yeah, I don't think he had to love that person to forgive them. Like, because again, like we say, forgiveness isn't for them; it's for yourself. Okay. So you're not even doing it for them at the end of the day.
That's fair.
But I really think once you go through the aspects of healing from grieving, the emotional, the ups and downs and things like that, you know, over a period of time, you tend to let it slide, you let it go. It becomes easier to maintain and deal with, self-manage than when it's just so new and so fresh, like a nice wound, like somebody's stabbed you in the arm or the stomach or something. You know what I'm saying? That wound is there, and over time, you still have some reminders of it and some essence of it, but it gets a little bit easier to deal with it. And even for me, I'm just going to use this as an example. You know, let's say if you had a father or somebody that you was tight with, a parent or sibling or somebody that you may have been really tight with that passed away. Depending on your trauma with that will really deal with how you are able to forgive or ease out of your emotional pain, your mental, your physical pain, as opposed to even having ties with the person. You're more able to slide into a place of accepting what happened and moving on with your life, as opposed to being locked in that one place and you just can't let it go and you torturing yourself day after day, night after night. That's how I kind of look at it and view it.
Okay. All right. So no love. There's no love for y'all.
No.
Is there unconditional love for hoes? Or we don't love them hoes?
We love women.
I love women.
Okay. No, hoes. We go strictly with hoes, not women. They're not.
But they're women too.
No, damn, that's a conundrum. Hoes are women. Hoes can be men. Like men can be hoes
men too.
So like,
there you go.
There it is.
So do we love hoes in the general sense? No. Like in the negative sense of the word hoe? No. Because that is not someone that is worthy of love. Well, you know, everyone is worthy.
Everybody's worthy of it. They're worthy of love. Yes, they are. Let's back it up. No, let's back up, bro.
Yeah, I had to catch myself. Everyone is worthy of love.
You're gonna get
even
the
whores.
To come
even if you are a whore, you are worthy of love.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Man or woman.
Man or woman.
Yes.
It's tougher to love them though.
Or other gender. Insert whatever you identify as here.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not inserting.
All inclusive family.
It's not included. You're not included now.
Everybody cannot get in the club. There's a certain that's included.
Exclusive, and you're not included.
There we go. There we go. I like that.
Yes, but they're human beings. They're just trying to live.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't get in every club either. I'm a human.
How much are they worth?
All right, guys. We're going to end it on that one then. Good show tonight. I thank everybody for showing up for another episode of Hostile Therapy. Not because you want it, but because you need it. With me, Chris Styles, and Lord Trent. We'll be back here next Thursday, same time, same place. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Beautiful night. Love y'all.